So I'm just going to say a little bit about Outside In. So those of you who don't know me, I'm Marc Steene. I'm the director of Outside In. I was formerly working at Poundhouse Gallery, latterly as the executive director there. Forgive me, those of you who probably heard my story or the story around Outside In before, but I thought it might be helpful to talk a bit about how Outside In came to be and what its purpose is. So, Outside In is a charity that seeks to enable people who face serious and significant barriers to the art world to engage with the art world, for them to be understood and respected, and for their art to be seen and their voices heard. Outside In is partly built on my own personal experience in terms of why it came to be. I am still an artist. I don't know if I can use that term, but I did train and I went to art school, and I was sort of like having a relatively reasonable career, and I found the art world a very difficult place to be in, because my work was deeply personal. I had a strong connection to it, and I found the commodification of art, the sort of art speak in the language, difficult, and I found it very upsetting. And I was doing all right, and part of that sort of experience of being disconnected by my art through the process of trying to sell it led to me being quite ill, and I had a sort of quite bad period of mental ill health for several years, and I felt I wanted to go back into society and into community in a different way. And I started volunteering at a day centre for people with learning disabilities. And I was a volunteer, and I just went in and I had a sort of table and had 8 people to work with, and as usual in those sort of situations we had sort of cheap paper and powder paint. And I had no idea of what would happen in that experience. I didn't know, what was going to take place. I was unfamiliar. And I was sort of immediately struck by the talent and the creativity of the people at this table. Many of them have been in the care of a charity since they were very young. It's a charity that looks after people throughout their lives, and they found their own ways of working. The work was stunning and beautiful, and I was so inspired. I thought, this needs to be seen. This work is so beautiful. I want to get it out, and I want to finish my project and exhibit it. So I went to Brighton Library, organised the exhibition, and I went back to the day centre to collect the work, to go and get it framed and to put it on the walls. And I still never forget this day. I went back in to the day centre and said to the staff there, "Can I collect the work, please, for framing?" And they said, "What work?" I said, "The work I've been doing with this group of people for the last sort of 8 weeks." And they said, "Well, it's all been pulped." I said, "What do you mean it's all been pulped?" He said, it's made with paper mache." And I was completely shocked, and I had no sort of way of expressing my sort of anger about the sort of cultural and creative abuse that was taking place. But these people, and this happened every 3 months, but their work was being pulped. And that's throughout their lives. So making art and it's being pulped, and they got to make these sort of awful paper mache pots, which were then binned. And I was thinking, how can I change that? So the 2 things that struck me at the time were, how can I get their work into places and venues where it would be understood and valued, that audiences could put aside their prejudices about who is an artist and what is art? And how can I sort of change the attitudes of those people who didn't see that somebody with a learning disability had value, could be an artist, had something to say. And that's underpinned all my working life. That's really what changed me as a person. So I thought I found it difficult enough being an artist. How much more difficult it was for these people I was supporting. So yeah, cut a long story short, 2006, I was working at Poundhouse Gallery. I went back to the art world and thinking, what am I going to, I had a huge, sort of distrust of going back. But I thought, if I'm going back, I want to make it a different place. I want to use those experiences. I spent 10 years working in that charity. Spent 3 years as a sort of social worker running some group homes. And I think I'm unique in the art world, having that combination of artist and social care. And I wanted the art world to be a different place. So in 2006, someone said, "There's £500 I want to give you. You ever had an idea of a project you'd like to do but have never done?" And I said, "Yeah, no, I have actually. I really want to find out who's out there making art, who is in our communities, who are out there who have never been seen, who's making art that's never been in a gallery, has never been seen or understood, has never been validated." So with that £500, we did an exhibition and a call out across Sussex, and we had 250 pieces by 100 odd artists. And as usual in those days, it was put into the learning studio, but the work was incredible, absolutely amazing. People turning up and submitted their tattoos they designed because they'd had a brain hemorrhage. I remember one of those. Somebody who'd lived in woods, sort of like a feral existence, young man who was smoking dope and was drawing his sort of hallucinations. It was all, I mean, just eclectic. And the director and the curator were so amazed by this. I mean, everybody, it was just like unknown. You didn't know what was going to come in. But he said, okay, you know, it's going to be in the main gallery spaces from now on. Paul Hamlin Foundation saw it, and we had sort of 10 years funding from them, and the charity's grown. So we now support 3,000 artists across the UK. We've had well over 50 exhibitions, even more. Stop counting, clinically those. No. And we are seeking to make the art world a fairer place. We're trying to enable people that without our support wouldn't get their work into galleries and museums. We work in partnership, and we have 3 main strands of activity. Cornelia is here, who's now our exhibitions program manager, heads up our exhibitions program. We have exhibitions across the United Kingdom. We have a very big one coming up this autumn at King's Place, and Grayson Perry is one of our judges, and we're very delighted about that. We also have an artist development program, which is our sort of outreach work, and they are sort of delivered through artist support days. So we travel the country and look for artists that meet our criteria, and they get a chance to book a slot with one of our team, get the work photographed, create an online gallery. And for many artists, it's the first time they've ever shared their work. It's the first time anyone will have seen what they're doing, and probably the first time it's been photographed for a lot of people. And then it's the first time it's ever been shared, you know, on the website. So that's a really important activity for us. And we also have a training program. So as well as getting the work on walls and challenging prejudice and stigma, we're trying to enable people to have more active participation in the art world, to empower them to find employment, set up their own projects, have a voice in a gallery, be the person who writes the labels, who gets to curate the exhibitions. So those 3 main strands are what we're mainly about. And I'm sort of, we're on a journey. So 2.5 years as a charity. We spun out of Palm House Gallery. We're an Arts Council National Portfolio Organisation. We have funding from a whole range of different funders. And we're on a sort of mission to sort of enable a network of artists and communities across the UK. So we're working regionally. We have 3 hubs already. We have 2 in the south of England. We've just employed someone to work in the Midlands, and we're talking to arts organisations in the north of England as well. So yeah, I think that's as much for me. I'm sort of feeling very nervous. I hate being filmed for some reason. I'm feeling very self-conscious, which isn't always okay, so honestly. But I'd say a huge thanks to Cornelia for all her hard work in organising this, and thanks to Chrysalis Arts and Sarah and everybody for your support. We're delighted. I think the exhibition is lovely. I just want to say thank you to all the artists, and the work's stunning. Yeah, really. I didn't get a chance to say it last night, but well done. It's really beautiful work. I'm delighted. Anyway, I'm going to hand over to Lynn, who's going to speak next.